I began this project by imagining a 3D object, visualizing putting it together using paper, and I came up with this little pyramid, and I was like, oh, maybe I should just do a whole bunch of pyramids. But then I searched on TikTok and I found that somebody in another art class was doing a whole bunch of pyramids, and I was like, oh, that's kind of lame if I'm doing something that someone else has thought of. Maybe I'll make this little, projector that'll project things like as a metaphor into 3D space, and I'd make it like kind of futuristic, and maybe I'd paint it like silver or something. And then I was like, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and get at it. So I chose that character from my graphic novel universe, All Impossible Worlds, Fauna. She is the goddess of all the plant and animal life in the cartoon universe I'm developing. I made a framework for her tail because it involved all that I knew of what I could do with cardboard. I cut along the lines using a terrible knife, and can see at the beginning how wide these lines are. They're like an inch apart. By the end of the project, they're everywhere, because I learned that, here I am going to I went dumpster diving to get more cardboard. Couldn't really tell that time, but you can see with like the pizza boxes, I didn't really hold back on being pretty obvious that I wasn't using like fresh cardboard. Okay, we need more cardboard now. Okay, searching the trash and finding cardboard, cleaning up. That's very important. This is all sped up. The first day took several hours, and subsequently having to go out. It was a lot of work to get this far, and I had no idea how I was going to make it turn up to. Wait, I have something to say. What is a genie's tail made from? Yeah, I did the super slow mo. I don't know why. I'll cut that. So it is a lot of work to cut those tail pieces up, those segments. Then I had to add some wire to stabilize it. And I know I went past the glue guideline because we talked about that. The tape was much sturdier. This is tuck tape. It's a vapor barrier I've used on my home while sealing it off. It's a great sealer. Air can't get through it, water can't get through it. It's really efficient. So I was pretty excited because at this point I realized that I had found some gold, and I turned this flat object into an upward facing object, and I started to hate the cardboard, so I painted over it and put a bunch of drawings on it, and part of the creative process, experimenting with visualizing different pieces on the back. This is Happyman and Fauna having a conversation. So this is the first three-dimensional rendering, or second really three-dimensional rendering of Fauna. Before this, she was just a kind of cartoon in 2D. Happyman is the god of the universe. He's the one that's creating this whole situation. They're having a conversation. What are you doing, Fauna? This is for a class. You need to focus on your work, or you will not land in this sick throne that is powered by a sun. Really, an animation is a screen capture of 3D, where the picture originated from. Look at Happyman's butt. Yeah, that's a nice butt. See how fine the details are. I had to get a whole new iPad so that I could reach this level. It's they're pretty weighty files. So there has to be like a super powerful processor. That's one of Fauna's creations. He appears to be jumping. His 2 forelegs are off. That's Happyman's cape, which is just beautiful. Of course, Happyman again. So what you're seeing in this is really like my first kind of sub animation in 3D of Happyman and Fauna having their conversation. I'm taking a quick video of the progress because you couldn't see the time lapse of it behind. And I put this triangular shipping box through the center of the sculpture in order to have the 2 pieces be able to lock together eventually. I hadn't really attacked the bottom, so I went ahead and folded and sealed all those spots, and this is before the great sealing event, which is making sure that none of the cardboard can get wet, and thus creating a semi-permanence about the sculpture. So you can I thought that the aesthetic of taking it from cardboard to this sealed tape was pragmatic, but also gave it a pretty good, interesting look from far away, at least. A lot of people are coming and going during creating this. Up close, the tape is quite irregular, so it doesn't make an incredible aesthetic if we're talking about fine details. However, it was a pragmatic choice to cover it entirely with tuck tape because it's humid and northern, and it would be safer to be completely water sealed. I can create the character, but I can't control what the character does in different mediums. So with the back hair, Fauna is completely different in the book and in the cartoon. Vision of her holding an egg, and this would be like a fertility statue, but I didn't feel like I had enough time to make an egg. Maybe if I have some extra time. I'm ahead of schedule at this point. So I had to do the midsection separate, and over the course of the next few days, I would, while working on the midsection and making all these additions with the aluminum tape, the aluminum tape reacted incredible with the cardboard. I loved how they came together to add more movement and stability to the flimsiness of the cardboard and kind of hold it together. So that was where I finished the hand. The top kept falling down. I didn't record that. Now we're in the studio at school and we're working on the right arm, or the left arm, I believe. And the right arm. I'd done both forearms at the same time, and I did the biceps and triceps and shoulders subsequently, and the elbows. The elbows had me kind of stumped, but then in the end, I just needed to come back to it because this is my first time doing this. Ended up wiring one hand so that she's kind of resting on her tail. So one hand, and it really brought a lot of personality to it. Bye.